Welcome. Welcome to day 3 of our ecstatic yoga samadhi immersion. And we are on our asana morning practice. So happy that you're here. So happy you made it to day 3. This is a day of celebration. Excited you're here. Today we are going to do a floor sequence. It will be more restorative, a little more relaxed than our standing postures, but we're going to get a lot done, a lot of stretching, a lot of moving, and getting the blood circulating and increasing that energy in the body. We're going to start off. I will sing a little chant for you. We'll go into our intention and our pranayama and then go straight into the asana practice. Ateya, ateya, he. Ateya, ateya, he. Ate utekene he amonde ateya, he. Ateya, ateya, he. I like to use these little bells in my yoga practice when I do it live in person. So we're gonna just cling these bells to know we're starting our practice. So let's begin in a nice seated, comfortable position. Might want to put a little cushion under those sits bones so that pelvis is neutral and you're comfortable. We're going to start with our Nadi Shodhanam, balancing our nadis, the major energy system of our body. We have the Sushumna. It goes up from the tail to the crown. We'll talk about that in our philosophy class. And then the Ida and Pingali that are spiraling up and cross over at every chakra. And they balance our energies. And this Nadi Shodhanam also helps balance the entire body system, the brain and the right and left sides of the body. So I try to include it in my daily practice. I will guide you through the first few breaths, and then I will let you breathe on your own. We're going to be inhaling and exhaling through alternate nostrils, and we're going to always switch nostrils on the exhale. So we'll do an exhale through that nostril and inhale through that nostril, and we'll switch over to the next on the exhale. I'll guide you through. Bringing the pointer and middle finger to that crown brow chakra that triggers that chakra a little bit, and it allows, you can also, a lot of people just do a fist and go like that, but I really love including that ajna chakra in the practice. So the thumb will close one nostril, and depending what hand you have, that will be the side that you'll be, but we'll just call it that thumb side. And then your finger, either the pinky or the ring finger, will close the opposite nostril, and we'll call that the finger side. Bringing those fingers, the pointer and middle finger, right on that ajna chakra between the brows. We're going to take a deep breath in and out. Nice deep breath in. And at the top of that breath, bring that thumb to close the thumb side nostril and exhale through the opposite side. Inhaling through the same side. And then releasing the thumb at the top of that breath, bringing the finger down to close that nostril and exhaling through the thumb side. Inhaling through the same side. And at the top of that breath, bring the thumb down to close the nostril, release the finger, and exhale through the finger side. Inhale, same side. And releasing the thumb, bringing the finger down and continuing on your own at your own pace. And releasing the hands, releasing the breath, coming back to center. And let's set an intention for our practice. Gently closing your eyes, going inside. Set an intention for yourself, whether it's for this practice, for this day, this sacred, beautiful day we have before us, this week, this year, this lifetime. I will invite you to set your intention now. And then coming back and opening your eyes, setting that intention out into the universe, out into the heart of our divine, the God of our understanding, our soul power, to wrap its arms around that intention and create the synchronicities to make that come into fruition. It is the highest will. We will begin our asana practice. We are going to begin standing up, even though this is the floor sequence. I want to review our alignment one more time. You've learned so much. You've learned bandhas, so we won't be doing so much bandhas in our floor postures. We'll be doing more engaging the mula bandha, because if we're sitting forward and moving this, but we'll be doing the mula bandha will be our focus on the bandhas for the floor. We've learned bandhas. You've learned lines of energy, where the energy, our attention and focus can go out into those lines of energy, which empowers us to use our attention to manifest and to move our energies. And you've learned alignment and foundation. So right now my foundation is my feet, hip width apart on the ground. And I'm going to move a little back and forth, find that center of gravity for myself. Beautiful. And I am going to make sure that I am balanced on both feet equally, and the fronts of the feet, the back of the feet, the sides, the inner arches of the feet. Beautiful. We'll go into our loops. So we're going to lift the toes so we feel a little lift of the arch. That's the best way I've found to feel the lift of the arch. Go into shin loop as we engage the calves, feeling the energy coming up the back of the calves and down the front of the shins. And then our thigh loop, the energy begins right below the knees. So we're going to feel a lift of the knees. We're going to feel a nice engagement of this thigh and quadricep here. Nice engagement. And the energy is going to go back down the hamstring, the back of the thighs. Our thigh loop. And pelvic loop, we're going to feel this pelvic come into neutral. I always feel my belly come in and up a little bit and the tailbone tuck in just a little. So it's a neutral position. Beautiful. And breathe. Always keeping the breath flowing. And then we're going to feel a lift of the ribs. Beautiful. And our kidney loop is coming up the ribs and it's going back down this back. And then we have our shoulder loop here that's going to come right from here, and we're going to come all the way up to between the lips, and it's going to bring the chin parallel to the floor. The head's going to go back just a little as that energy goes back, so we're going to feel the shoulders go back and the shoulder blades come together a little bit. And then it drops down and goes down the back. So we'll feel those shoulders drop down away from the ears with that loop, finding this perfect alignment for our body. And then, of course, my favorite, as we lift the crown up into the heavens, up, 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 and feel the entire spinal column elongate up towards the ceiling, the heavens, the sky. And standing here in this mountain posture, engaging all these loops, knowing this is a way we can align our body. Gravity will have the least pull on our body. As we age and we grow older, we won't be leaning over like this. We will be aligned, and gravity won't be pulling us down into uncomfortable positions. Beautiful job. Let's take one beautiful breath here, just feeling that alignment. And I want to introduce a new breath work, one that I like to use throughout my practices. It adds a little focus, a little concentration, and a little increased prana in the body. And that is the Ujjia Breath. And the Ujjia Breath is when we constrict the back of our throat just a little bit so that we can actually hear the air come in and out as we breathe. Some people call it the Darth Vader breath, but it is the Ujjia breath. And it creates a great focus and concentration while we're in a practice. So we're going to try that. Just try closing the back of your throat just a little and breathing in and out so that you can hear that breath coming in and out through the throat. And you can have your mouth closed and breathe through your nose at the same time, or have your mouth open. Also been called the ocean breath, because to me it sounds like an ocean. I love that. We're going to be going over all the pranayamas in our pranayama module in our asana immersion with Ecstatic Yoga Teacher Training. So if you don't have it perfect now, that's okay. We're just introducing it. So you'll be a little more familiar during the pranayama class. I invite you to use this Ujjia breath, this beautiful ocean sound, as you go through your entire practice today. I will be using it, and I invite you to. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, that's okay too. So we're going to begin to breathe through the Ujjia for a few breaths. Beautiful job. I invite you to clasp your hands behind you. We're going to go into a standing yoga nidra, yoga mudra. It is where we honor the heart, because the heart is going to be the highest organ of the body. It's going to be higher than the head. And that way we are honoring it as our wise and trusted intuitive guide through life. So with these hands clasped behind the back, we're going to extend them out a little bit and bring them up as we hinge at our hips, down into a nice forward fold, and then round the spine. Beautiful. And you can bring those hands up as high as feels comfortable for you, remembering to always be on our edge, never forcing or striving or pushing past what is comfortable. Sitting on this edge, and now we're going to take a moment to really honor our heart. Bring our focused energy into that beautiful heart center, honoring it. So that Ujjia breath. And releasing those hands. And we're going to go into a nice forward fold here. Bringing your hands down to your block if you need, or you can bring them just directly down to the mat. You can bend the knees a little bit in your forward fold if you need to. And just releasing and relaxing that head. That neck carries so much tension all day long. We're just going to release it for a moment. Gently, never forcing, maybe a little yes and a no. Just moving it around, relaxing it. Beautiful. And now we're going to bring our hands down. And we're going to come up onto our knees. So we're up on our knees. We're going to go into a camel posture. So the first thing we need to do in our camel posture is we need to tuck that tailbone under a little bit. And that opens up the lumbar vertebrae in our lower back so they don't crunch when we go into a back bend. So opening up that lumbar vertebrae, knees are right under the hips. Beautiful job. Hands are right here below the small of our back. And we're going to go back, opening up the chest into a little back bend here. The head and the chin can come back to what's comfortable. And we're in a beautiful camel posture. And let's breathe here for 3 breaths in the Ujjia. And I'm going to invite you to do 3 more breaths in Ujjia. And if you'd like to challenge yourself more, you can bring your hands down to your heels, either each heel, and go into a full camel as we breathe. Otherwise, just remain in your original camel. And now coming up, we're going to bring those hands back to the small of the back and come all the way up, and let's move right directly into a nice child's posture. So we're going to come back, open up those legs a little. You can bring the hands forward or to your side, and then allow that belly to sink in between the legs. Bring the head and the forehead to the mat and resting in child's posture. And you can bring your hands back behind you, or you can stretch them out in front of you. And let's breathe that Ujjia breath, 3 breaths in our child's posture. And I invite you to engage that Mula Bandha right now. And gently coming up out of your child's posture is always such a beautiful restorative posture. And I invite you to bring the feet out in front. Beautiful. We're going to go into single leg forward fold. And we are going to we're going to take that right leg and we're going to bring that, let's start with the left leg. We're going to take the left leg up and have that left foot resting on the inner thigh of your right extended leg in a comfortable position for you. And sitting up straight, kind of maybe engaging that shoulder loop a little bit. So the shoulder blades are coming together a little and the shoulders are back and down. Engage that Mula Bandha and then begin to hinge forward. So we're only moving at the hips. The hip joint is moving right now. And we're going to move until we feel that edge, until the back leg muscles here, calves and the hamstrings are telling us that's about enough of a stretch for now. And then allow the spine to round. When we do it this way, it really protects the back. And now that we're down, we can bring the hands to the mat. Now your forward fold may look like this. Everybody's different. A lot of men who have a lot of muscle, this is about where they are. They feel that edge. Now other people may be a little bit lower. You may be far lower than me and be a lot more flexible than me. So coming down to whatever is comfortable for you. And you can even take a hold of that foot and massage it if you can reach it. And relaxing in this nice, beautiful forward fold. And engaging that Mula Bandha, and let's engage the Ujjia breath for 3 breaths here. Beautiful job. Coming on up to your, coming up to a straight position. Gently, kindly coming up to a seated position. Again, and we're going to switch legs. So we're going to take that left leg out, extended now. We're going to take the right leg in, bringing the right foot to rest gently on the inner thigh of the left leg. Sitting up nice and straight, going into that shoulder loop, so the shoulders are back and down. And we're going to begin to hinge at those hips. So the only thing that's going to move in our body right now is our hips. Nice hinge at the hips. And finding that beautiful edge. And you find that edge, allowing the spine to round. And bringing the hands down to the mat. You can bring them down to your foot. Give it a little massage. Remembering to honor wherever you are in your lunge. Now we are going to take 3 beautiful Ujjia breaths. We're going to engage that Mula Bandha. Remembering you can always go a little deeper into your hinge as we move through these breaths. We begin now. And coming back up into seated position. We're going to go into a bound ankle. We're going to bring both feet together, the soles of both feet together, and rock back and forth a little on those sits bones. Kind of have fun with it. Our bound angle. And then we're going to move from here. We're going to move into a wide leg balance. So we're going to hold on to those big toes. We're going to balance back down on our sacrum. It's a nice little balance, and we're going to lift those heels, and then we're going to bring the legs up and out to a nice balance. Beautiful. Engage the Mula Bandha and breathe. Using that Ujjia breath. Beautiful, and coming down. Beautiful job. Good job. And now we are going to scoot up to the front of our mat. And we are going to go into spinal rocks. This gives us a really beautiful massage along the muscles along our spinal column, massages our kidneys, invigorates the Sushumna Nadi. So bringing the hands behind the knees, we're just going to gently rock back. Beautiful job. Let's do one more roll. And we're going to end up on our backs with our knees up. Beautiful job. And we're going to bring the hands on either side of us. And we're going to move into two-legged table. So we're going to push into our feet and bring those hips up and abdomen halfway. Two-legged table. We just hold this here for 3 Ujjia breaths. Engage the Mula Bandha. And on your exhale, we're going to begin to lower one vertebrae at a time, like a string of pearls, from the upper thoracic all the way down to the lower thoracic vertebrae and lumbar. Relaxing down. Great job. We're going to do one more two-legged table, and then we're going to move into a full bridge. Pressing into the feet, we're going to lift those hips halfway. Beautiful. Find where it feels perfect for you. Engaging the Mula Bandha and breathing with the Ujjia breath. 3 breaths. And on your exhale, lowering down nice and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, from the shoulder area all the way down to your lower back and lumbar. Beautiful. We're going to do it one more time, but go into a full bridge. So we're going to press into the feet, go into a nice back bend. You're going to bring the hands underneath us. You can clasp them underneath you. You can leave them at your sides if you like, whatever feels comfortable. We're going to bring those shoulders right underneath us. Go into a beautiful lunge. Imagining you have a block between your knees so they don't end up going outward. They're not touching, but they're parallel. We'll go into that beautiful bridge and adjusting the chin so your throat feels comfortable. And let's go into, engage that Mula Bandha, and let's go into the Ujjia Breath. Last deep inhale in, and on the exhale, you're going to release the hands, release the shoulders, and then come down again out of that arched back, going one vertebrae at a time, like a string of pearls, all the way back down to the floor, all the way. And once you're back down to the floor and your back is flat on the back, flat on the floor, bring those knees into the chest. Beautiful. And you can rock around here a little bit, releasing and relaxing that lower back. It's a little counter posture to the back bend. Beautiful. Good job. And let's hold that right knee in. And we're going to take the left leg and we're going to bring that straight out so it's flat, extended all the way out, flat on the floor. One knee is to chest and the opposite leg is down. Now the energy of this posture is this extended leg is pressing down into the floor. And then this knee is coming in towards the chest. So they're going opposite directions simultaneously. So we're going to engage that Mula Bandha ever so gently. Go into 3 Ujjia breaths as we hold this nice posture with a single knee to chest. And breathe. Beautiful job releasing that right leg and bringing that down, extending that leg out onto the floor and the mat, and bringing your left leg into the chest. And again, now this right extended leg, the line of energy is going to be going down into the floor. So you're pressing that down into the floor, into the earth. And the left knee is coming in towards the chest. Opposite directions, 2 lines of energy simultaneously. Engaging that Mula Bandha, and let's bring the Ujjia breath in for 3 breaths. And gently lowering that left leg. Beautiful job. Excellent job. Good job. So we are going to move into a beautiful posture, one of my favorite postures. and that is that half shoulder stand. And it's a nice inversion. If you want to, we can just lift those legs up straight ahead. And this can be your inversion right here if half shoulder stand doesn't work for you. This is a nice modification for the half shoulder stand. You're getting the same blood flow. The veins are getting their break because all that blood flow is coming down towards the heart without the veins working at all. It's really beautiful to have some inversion postures in your sequences. If you'd like to go into half shoulder stand, we're going to lift those hips up. We're going to grab them with our hands. And we're going to bring the feet straight up. Trying to have the feet so they're right over the head. And we're going to engage that Mula Bandha, and we're going to bring that Ujjia breath in. If you'd like to bring those feet over into a plow posture, you can do that. If not, you can just curl those knees into the chest. And let's together now roll down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Protecting that lower back, coming all the way down. Beautiful job. And now we're going to go into a fish posture. So we're going to bring both feet out straight in front of us. And we're going to take both hands about halfway under the buttocks. Beautiful. We're going to feel those elbows and those forearms on the mat nice and solidly. And we're going to push into the forearms and the elbow as we lift the head and arch the heart and the chest. This is a real heart opening posture. And then gently bring the top of the head down to the mat. And let's engage that Mula Bandha and bring some Ujjia breaths in here. And on your next exhale, releasing down, all the way down so you're flat on your back. Beautiful job. Let's bring those knees into the chest. A nice little counter posture. Just rocking back and forth, releasing back a little bit. And we're going to go into happy baby now. This is just a nice, beautiful flow, grabbing those big toes again. And we're just going to be a happy baby and kick those feet around and move them around and rock around, just like you would if you were a baby. Having fun with this posture, playing with your own body, enjoying moving in your body. Feeling whatever spontaneous movements arise for you to do. Can't do happy baby wrong. And then releasing those toes, bringing those feet so they're flat on the mat again. And we're going to go into a spinal twist. So we're going to start, let's start by taking that left leg straight out in front of us. And we're going to come up onto that left side just a little bit. Like maybe we're turning on our left side, but we're not. Just enough to protect that lower back. And we're going to take the right knee up. We're going to bring the left hand onto the right knee and bring that right knee over to the left. Finding where you can feel that edge for yourself. Beautiful job. The right hand is extended all the way out to the side. Oh, my Xander. And you're going to turn your head to gaze out over those right fingertips. Beautiful twist from the bottom up. And breathe into that Ujjia breath. And release, releasing the legs, coming flat onto your back. Up, beautiful job. And we're going to go over to the other side for our, I'm going to check on my kitty for a second. And releasing that knee. Beautiful job. And we're going to switch sides now. So coming back to a neutral position, we're going to extend that right leg out in front of us, flat on the floor, coming up to your right side just a little bit, taking that left knee up and over to the right side. Beautiful job. Feel that beautiful twist, finding your edge. And then we're going to bring the left arm out to the side like a T, gazing out over those left fingertips. And breathe. Bring that Ujjia breath in if you can. Engage that Mula Bandha. Enjoy this beautiful twist in your body. And releasing. Enjoying all the beautiful sensations. Beautiful job, beautiful job. And now we're flat on our back and we're going to go into some releases on our back. And this is something that I like to use at the end of all my asana practices because it really releases and relaxes the lower back for our Samadhi. So the first release we're going to do is we're going to do cat-cow on the floor. So we're going to go into our cat first, and we're going to press our lower back into the floor. Beautiful. And then when we go into our cow, we're going to shift that tailbone so it's sticking out, and we're going to arch the back up off the floor. We're going into flexion and extension of the spine, moving into cat as we press the lower back into the floor, into the earth, and then cow. We're Move that tailbone and arch that back into a beautiful cow, lifting the small of the back up off the earth. And going back and forth at your own pace, your own rhythm into a nice cat-cow on the floor. And I invite you to engage that Mula Bandha and bring in that Ujjia breath. Beautiful job, bringing yourself back to a neutral position with the back flat on the floor. And we're going to move into some lift hip pointers. So we're going to take those hips and we're going to point it up towards the ceiling one at a time. So let's start with our left side. We're going to lift that butt cheek up off the mat just a little, and we're going to point our hip up and over. Beautiful job. And releasing it down. And then up and over. And releasing it down. Beautiful job. Continuing at your own pace. One side and then the next. In our hip pointers. Nice subtle movement. You can bring in that Ujjia breath, engage that Mula Bandha. And coming back to a nice neutral position. And we're going to move into what I call hula. And that is let's start with the right side. We're going to take the right hip up towards the shoulder. And the left hip is going down towards the feet. The sacrum and the lower back are always flat on the mat. And then we're going to, keeping that back flat on the mat, we're going to switch and swivel. So the right hip is going down towards the feet and the left side is coming up towards the shoulders. Nice hula. And continuing, switching sides, alternating. One hip comes up, the other goes down, drops down a little, and alternating to the other side. And let's continue this beautiful release, lower back release, engaging that Mula Bandha and bringing that Ujjia breath in. Now coming back to neutral position. Great job. And we're going to take those knees over to one side, dropping them over either side. And we're going to lift that top leg up, bringing it over to the opposite side. The legs will be into a nice wide posture, and then that opposite knee is going to follow nice and slowly, and eventually it's going to end up so both knees are over to the opposite side. And then we're going to lift that upper knee and leg up, bringing it all the way over to the opposite side, and allowing that lower leg and knee to follow slowly so that both knees return to one side. Lifting the upper leg, moving it over slowly to the other side. Feet are touching, and allowing the opposite leg to come over and follow. Beautiful job. Doing a couple more of these at your own pace, engaging that Mula Bandha and bringing that Ujjia breath in. And coming back to neutral with the knees up, feet flat on the mat. And we're going to walk those feet out to the wide edges of the mat. They can even be off the mat a little bit. And we're going to take that right knee and we're going to drop it in towards the body. Just the right knee. And then nice and slowly bringing it up. We're releasing and relaxing the lower back. And we're going to take the left leg and knee in to the center. Finding that perfect edge where you're never forcing. And we'll continue alternating the knees into the body at our own pace, our own rhythm. Engaging the Mula Bandha and bringing that Ujjia breath in. This is our last posture. And coming back to center. And we're going to gently and kindly roll over to one side. We're going to let all that energy integrate into our body, mind, and spirit. And gently and slowly coming up into a seated position. We're going to move into our final Ujjia breath and conclude this beautiful Samadhi Asana practice. So we're going to begin by sitting in a nice comfortable position, bringing those pointer finger and middle finger to our Ajna, third eye chakra. Inhaling deeply. Bring the thumb down to close that nostril. Exhale out the finger side. Inhale, same side. Releasing the thumb, bringing the finger down to close the nostril, and exhale through the thumb side. Inhale, same side. Releasing the finger, using the thumb to close off that nostril, and exhale over to the opposite side. Continuing on your own at your own pace. Releasing the hand, releasing that Ujjia breath. Let's take a moment to bring ourselves back to that intention that we set at the beginning of practice. Let's repeat it to ourselves a couple times again. Send that intention out to the universe, out to our divine, the God of our understanding, trusting it has been heard and the highest form of manifestation will come to us. Thank you for joining me for our third and last day of the Samadhi Asana practice in this beautiful Samadhi immersion of our ecstatic yoga teacher training. We're so grateful that you're here, and we're going to be moving into a little pranayama and meditation next, and then of course our Samadhi. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is pure love and pure light. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste.